Bam! Welcome to another episode. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the repetitious routine that you have. You're bored from your routine. You're trying to figure out, okay, I want to get to my goal, but I got to keep doing this thing over and over again. I'm sick of it. This video will talk about that, and I'll talk about 4 ways to overcome that. Term is called stultification, but watch the video for more. A lot of people are worried about climate change. They're worried about smog being one of those factors, but there's something that's very pernicious that is affecting you, and it's the slog, okay? It's the stultifying slog. Now, on today's episode, welcome to another episode. First off, welcome to another episode of Self-Employed Success Secrets Wednesday edition with me, your host, Marcus. On today's episode, we're going to talk about stultification. Stultification is something you probably have never heard of, but you experience it every day. Now, let's start with the definition of stultification. The definition of stultification is a loss of energy, enthusiasm, or initiative for something because of a repetitive routine. That's what a slog is. It's work over time. Okay, you're doing the same thing over and over again, and this stunts success. Okay, good things from happening. Remember, success is a succession. You got to do it over a long span of time, and I want to help you to overcome stultification. On this episode, I'm going to talk to you about 4 ways to reduce the impact of stultification on your life so you can end up having the life that you want. A lot of it has to do with sustaining the path. You're sustaining the path that you created to go forward, okay? So thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the video. Okay, the first thing you're gonna need to do is stop tolerating it, okay? This is an important truth, is that you get out of life what you're willing to tolerate. If you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm sick of this mediocrity in your life, you can change it instantly. Okay, you can't change overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. You can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction. So all I wanna say is that you get out of life what you are willing to tolerate. Once you stop tolerating the mediocrity, the stultification, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not gonna have a crappy job, I'm not gonna just barely inch by, I'm gonna end up winning. You can make this shift and go forward. So remember, you get out of life what you're willing to tolerate. That's the very first thing you want to do. In regards to stultification, okay, stop tolerating it. Be like, I'm not gonna be stultified. I'll find little tidbits of joy in everything that I'm doing every day. The second thing you want to help you overcome stultification is seeing that life is brief, okay? As they say, the days are long, but the years are short, okay? And there's a lot of time in life where you have to wait. It's one of the hard things about life, is just being patient, long suffering. Okay, they say life is like riding a roller coaster, okay? The line is long and the ride is short. Understand that, hey, I'm not gonna be stultified. I'm gonna see the newness in what I'm doing every day. Okay, so those are just 2 things that you can think about as you're being stultified. You know, you don't have to be as everyone else is at your job who's stultified. Most people, this is a big problem in a lot of people's lives, is being stultified. Doing the same thing over and over again. You got people who are stay-at-home moms who do the same thing with their kids every single day. Or you go to your job, do the same thing every single day. Okay, and we want to help that. Okay, also stay tuned for the other 2. Another thing too, before we get to the next 2 items, is that you want to stay vigilant and virulent to these things. Vigilant meaning that you're aware of the dangers of stultification, that it can stop you from getting what you want. You get so caught up in doing, you know, the daily tasks of the day, you just forget why you're doing it. Okay, you want to stay vigilant and virulent. Virulent means bitterly hostile to stultification. Be aware of it, and just, you know, waking yourself to, hey, this is a real threat that is, you know, hampering a lot of people's lives. Okay, so the next 2 I want to talk about is take a Sabbath day. Okay, God worked 6 days and took 1 day off. Okay, a lot of people are stultified because they're literally always working. They never stop working. They never get a time to refresh and renew and, you know, just reignite while they're doing what they're doing. Take a day off. It doesn't have to be Sunday, but take a day off. Okay. And the next part is understand that your routine can be improved upon, okay? If you drive the same way to work, drive a different way, okay? You don't have to change the strategy of being successful. You can change the tactics. You can be like, okay, I'm gonna read a book. One thing I do to escape stultification is read like a book. Always have a different book you're reading. Okay, have some plan for fun things in the future that will help you overcome stultification. Okay, because it's a huge problem on our side. A lot of people quit businesses. A lot of people quit organizations. A lot of people quit doing things because they're just stultified. It's just, I don't enjoy this anymore. I'm burnt out. Burnt out is a synonym for stultification. And then you're just like, hey, that's it. And so I just want you to keep these 4 things in mind, okay? And that they'll help you. Okay, so in closing, remember that to avoid stultification, follow these 4 rules. The first is you're gonna get out of life what you're willing to tolerate. Don't tolerate stultification or mediocrity. You can say to yourself, hey, I'm not gonna be mediocre. I'm not gonna tolerate it. The second is to see how ephemeral life is, how brief it is, okay? Life is extremely brief. If you see the grandeur and beauty, the sublime nature of every day, stultification will be at bay, okay? The next is to take a Sabbath, okay? That's one of the 10 commandments, is take a Sabbath, okay? It'll help you reignite and re-excite yourself to go back to work and have a good week. And the last is to understand that you can always upgrade your routine, okay? There's always things you can do to change, to get rid of stultification. So you want to stay on the path to whatever your goal is, but don't get stultified. That's why a lot of people quit. They just give up, okay? So on to today's surprise from Nietzsche. He was a German philosopher. He said that, is it that life is 1,000 times too short for us to be bored? The crux of stultification is getting bored, okay? Is life not 1,000 times too short for us to be bored, okay? That's Nietzsche. And lastly, as always, unsuccessful people that make decisions based on their current situations, but successful people, you hopefully make decisions based on where you want to be. Thank you so much. Bye.